Welcome, friends, to another mixed level yoga class with Marcy. In today's class, we'll be exploring the felt sense of Purnatva, which stands for fullness in Sanskrit. And it's one of the 6 attributes of the universal in Tantric philosophy. And I will let you join the class to learn more about that. And I think today's practice will be very supportive in helping you actually feel that in your bodies. So I'm glad you're here. Enjoy. So letting yourself just start to arrive in the space, in this space, and in your personal space, the space of you. Feeling sits bones on your cushion. And noticing the flow of your breath. Nothing to do about it at the moment, but to notice. And I want to talk a little bit about the theme today. Just a few minutes ago, Ekis, my cat, was in here looking perfect. And we went to the vet, who said he's perfect. And of course, you know, the caregiver of the cat feels very built up by that. It's like, oh, we're doing such a great job, and he's doing such a great job, and how wonderful it is. But that's not the kind of perfection that I'm bringing into our class today. So the Sanskrit word is Purnatva, and Purna stands for perfection, but in the sense of fullness. Yeah, I see you nodding. The tva is the principle of. So the principle of fullness. And in Tantra, Purnatva is one of the 6 attributes of the universal. And certain times, it's just yoga philosophy is such a great thing to have, to be able to turn to, right? And especially if we're tripping ourselves with perfection. It's like, okay, no, this doesn't feel good, right? To be pushing the self to measure up to some standard that very likely is not even necessarily your own. So Purnatva is really this idea of a fullness that can never not be full. You can take from fullness, but it does not lose its fullness, you know, and you can add to fullness, and it's still fullness. And yesterday morning, I didn't get much sleep last night, and I woke up cranky, and I was in the kitchen, and Chris was doing something, and I felt cranky towards him. And I said, and I brought in Purnatva, and I was like, can this be part of the fullness too? And the answer is yes. You know, this kind of fullness, it just contains it all and allows all that is to be part of the fullness. Warts and all, the people in your life that sometimes you wish you didn't have to deal with, and all parts of yourself that you wish you didn't have to deal with, and all, etc. So just see how that lands for you. And in today's practice, I'll be cueing to allow yourself to have a more felt sense of fullness as we work. All right. So just letting the breath be as it is a kind of fullness. Let's bring our hands together. in front of the heart. Beginning by just noticing the sensation of one hand touching the other. And for a moment, maybe one hand receives the other. And then you can switch and let the other hand receive the other. And just notice if one is more comfortable or makes more sense somehow to you than the other. Good. We'll join our voices for the sound of 3 ohms today. So take a full exhalation and a full inhalation. And one of the things that keeps us from feeling like we are full is stress, right? We get agitated and things tighten up. So I wanted to offer at the start of today's practice a pranayama. You've heard it perhaps and practiced it with me before. It's the 3-part breath. And what that tends to do is it really works with the vagus nerve, which the ventral vagus, it covers the face and comes into the heart and into the gut. And when we're stressed and pulled out, all those things can get really activated in ways like we get indigestion or IBS or our heart palpitations or we just don't feel good or whatever. So this 3-part breath directly correlates to the vagus nerve, and it can be very, very soothing. So let's start with a hand on the belly. Just notice what it feels like to have a hand or 2 hands on the belly to begin. And your eyes can be open or closed, your choice. And let the inhalation as the diaphragm moves down make the belly full. And then empty. And then full. And then empty. Good. And then on the next inhalation, we're going to fill the belly. And bring a hand to the rib cage and fill the rib cage. And then empty it all out. On your next inhale, fill the belly. Then fill the rib cage. And then exhale it all out. Great. Now we're going to add the 3rd part. So on the next inhalation, fill belly. Fill the rib cage so there's a horizontal move into the hand, and then let that continue to fill all the way up to the collarbones. And exhale it out. And this should be sort of a gentle breath, so we're not straining here. So we'll do it again. Inhale, fill belly. Fill rib cage, horizontal filling, and then all the way up vertical to the collarbones. If you want to move a hand up to the collarbones to feel that, exhale it all out. And then take your own rate here. Do your own breath. Follow your own rhythm. Take 2 more. Exhale it all out. Release the hands. And just take a moment to notice now if anything feels a little bit different. You feel a little more settled, a little more present. little more centered, a little more easy, more relaxed. For some people, working with the breath has the opposite effect. So just if that's what happened, you can notice that too. Let's take our left hand up to the skin of our chest. So you want to get under your shirt and make contact. And draw that skin away from the neck. And draw the neck skin away from the hand. And move it around, explore and discover. Good, and then release the hand, release the neck. Hopefully you got to feel some nice opening of the connective tissue there on the neck, and then we'll take the other hand. It's good to make contact with the skin, and so with the palm, just draw that skin away from the neck and start to draw the skin of the neck away from the hand, and explore. Is there any sound that wants to come out of this part of your neck? Yeah, good. Chances are there's a whole bunch of sounds in here. Good. And then inhale to release that. Let's take a side stretch, and I'm going to invite you to explore your own side stretch, but a couple things. So take your left fingers to the floor and maybe eventually the palm. Try to keep both sits bones rooted. Find your central axis. You can even feel a little pelvic tilt. You can play with that a little bit. And then come in to your side stretch, maintaining the rooting, and just play. Me, I like to push the floor away while I do this. You can bring an arm in. There's no right or wrong here, just experimenting with what would feel good right now to you and your body in this moment. Yeah, and there's some sounds. I know that I can feel them. We let them out. Yeah. It's kind of like, I was thinking of this yesterday when I was a kid, and I would be nauseous, and everything in you wants to hold back from vomiting, right? It's like, right? But then when you finally let the vomit go, you feel so much better. I think we have been taught to hold our sounds in similarly, Mm-hmm. So to let the sound come, in a way, is like the release of letting yourself. Vomit's a little strong, but you're with me here. Okay, so let's root on the other side. Good, and find center line, find length, and then begin to make your way in and explore. Just stay rooted in the sits bones, and there's no right or wrong here. Just explore what wants to be stretched in you and how, and if there are any sounds coming from this side of the body, just feel good to let out. Wonderful. Inhale your way up. Take a moment just in center line to feel. Invitation is to just be tuning in, dropping into a deeper state of fullness, a felt experience of your own fullness, and a fullness that can never not be full. The moon is never not full, even if it doesn't look full, right? Let's walk our hands forward and take your time. So once again, experiment, explore. Maybe it's enough to just bring the hands right in front of you. Maybe there's a much deeper forward fold that your body would love. Maybe there's a sound here too. And then when it feels good, walk it all the way forward to come onto your hands and knees for continued exploration. Yeah. So nice and wide in the fingers turned out a little bit. And start to move. Maybe it feels good to move in the hips. Maybe there's some circling, letting go for a moment of that kind of perfection that gets us all bound up in ourselves, and dropping into a fullness of feeling, a fullness of expression. If it's what your body wants, it can't be wrong, right? Yeah. Maybe it's coming into some cat and cow. Maybe there's some forward and back. Enjoy this. And then I invite you to come onto your bellies and up onto forearms. Wag your tail a little bit. Feel the fronts of your hips on the mat, fronts of the thighs, fronts of your feet, the forearms. Find your breath. And on the next inhalation, put a bend in your right knee. And as you draw that heel towards the buttocks, notice how the buttocks moves towards that foot. That's what we want. It creates space in the front of the hip. Exhale that out. Inhale, let's try the other side. It brings a little curve in the back. Exhale that out. Beautiful. Let's turn the left forearm to be parallel to the top of the mat and drag the right hand back as we bend the right knee. Maybe your hand is going to reach your ankle. Okay, let's pause if it does and pause if it doesn't. And just breathe. Gently draw legs in towards the midline. If your hand does reach the ankle, see if you can reach it around to the top of the foot. If the knees want to splay out, draw them towards one another. Good. And let that meeting of the sits bone and the heel happen. So let that curve in the lower back happen, and then draw the right knee away from the heart and the heart away from the knee. Yeah, I like it. And breathe. Good. And exhale to release that. Ooh, take a moment in the middle, maybe wagging the tail. And then we'll take the other side, right forearm parallel to the top of the mat, bend the left knee, drag the left hand back. Maybe it reaches the ankle. Pause, find your breath. And if there's more, you can take the hand to the top of the foot and bend the elbow. Good. Let that left sits bone move towards the heel. Nice. Then draw the knee away and the heart forward. And if the knees are splaying, you want to keep a gentle draw to midline. And breathe. And enjoy. Can this be a fullness? Exhale. Press into the hands, open the knees wide, come into the pose of a child, toes together, just for a moment. Maybe making a pillow for your head. Maybe rocking out the sacrum in case anything got a little crunchy just then. Yeah. Coming into the fullness of the breath. Lovely. And from here, walk your hands forward, tuck the toes under, and press yourself into a downward facing dog. Yips. And your tailbone might start to feel the heat up above here, right? In a warmer stratosphere. Walk out your dog. Oh, maybe there's a sound here to be made. Okay. There sure is. Look between the hands and gently walk those feet forward and take your time. Soften in the knees. Lift and spread the toes. Draw ankles towards one another. Good. And then let something go in the head. Isn't that the hardest place, to let something go? Yeah, often. Not always. Good. And pressing into feet, inhale, draw that heart forward. Nice and long in the spine. Exhale, let something go in the head again as you drop it down. Nice, yeah. And then inhale that heart forward. Nice long straight back. If it works for you, you can open arms to the side, be the biggest bird on the planet, the albatross. Press into the feet. Let the tailbone root down as you rise up and touch the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Good sounds in the room. Are we hot?
Yes.
Yep. That's where the heat was hiding out, all the way up here. All right, come to the front of your mats, my friends. We'll do a couple of sun salutations. All right, so finding the breath, lifting and spreading toes. Inhale, hands up. And if a swan dive works for you, you can come forward with that. Soften the knees all the way down. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, step back with the right foot into a lunge. On fingertips. Pause, breathe, and gently draw legs in towards that midline. Melt the back thigh back. Circle the front sits bone down and under. Press through feet, get long through the crown, and soften behind the shoulder blades. All of that. Yep. It's kind of amazing if you can engage all of that. There's a deep potential sense of alignment there. Press into the hands, step the front foot back into your plank position. Pressing the floor away. Come onto bellies, either knees and chest or Chaturangdasana. Tuck the toes, inhale your way into a mini cobra. Tuck the toes under, press yourself into a downward facing dog. Exhalation. And then inhale that right foot forward into a lunge. Pause and breathe. Gentle draw of legs towards midline. Melt the thigh back. Exhale, root that front sits bone down. Press through both feet. Find the melting into length and a melting behind the heart. Inhale, step back forward with the back foot. Soften the knees, but be active in the feet and the ankles and the shins, and inhale the heart forward. Press through feet, inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. How are we doing? I'll do it again. Good. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Soften the knees. Inhale, heart forward. This time, let's step back with the left foot into a lunge. Pause, breathe, arrive. And then on the next inhalation, gently draw in towards midline with the legs and melt the back thigh back. On the exhalation, the front sits bone roots down through the front foot. Pressing through both feet, we get long through the crown and melt behind the heart. All of that. It doesn't take much to feel your fullness. You just have to do all of that. Okay, press through the hands, step it back. Plank position. And then when you're ready, draw forearms towards one another to come on down. Tack toes, inhale up into a cobra. Tuck the toes under, press yourself back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, look between the hands, jump, step, float your feet forward. Soften the knees, let go of something in the head, make a sound. Ah, good. Drawing ankles towards one another, inhale the heart forward. Open the arms, press through the feet, root to rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Is it too hot in here? Okay, well, if you need to open a window, of course you can. It's only 16 degrees out. Shouldn't be a problem. All right, let's come back to the top of our mats. And for one moment, let's tune in. Tune into breath. Find midline. Let's take hands on the front of the thighs just for a second. And bring awareness into the pubic bone and draw it down and back to just feel the thighs melting in towards one another back and widening the sits bones gently apart, even if you're just imagining it. Nice. And then get long in the back body. So rooting through tailbone. Nice. Keeping all of that. Inhale, hands up. And exhale to forward fold. On the inhalation, step yourself back into a downward facing dog. Nice and wide in the fingers. Come into the breath. Into the fullness of the breath. Feel a gentle draw of the shins towards one another. Soften the knees and feel the pubic bone move back and feel the sits bones widen. Widening yourself into a deeper felt sense of your own fullness, your own potential to feel your fullness. And then drop the tailbone into that space. Pressing through hands, inhale the right foot high. Exhale that foot between the hands. Woo! Hello! Take the right arm to the inside of the shin and gently press. Press and resist. Good, and then feel the back thigh melt back. Ooh, get long through the crown. There it is. Nice. Turn the back foot to be parallel to the short end of the mat and walk your fingers forward in a diagonal. As the fingers move forward, draw your hips back. Great. And then we'll inhale and walk it forward. Turn the back foot. Press into the hands, step it back, downward facing dog. Arrive here in the breath. Pressing into the hands, weight in the right foot. Inhale, left foot high. Exhale that foot all the way between the hands. Bring the left arm to the inside of the shin and find the resistance there. So the shin presses into the forearm, forearm resists. And then imagine the back thigh is melting back and towards the sky. And both feet and get long. See if there's a little more length available now. On your next inhalation, turn the back foot to be parallel to the short side of the mat. Walk fingers at a diagonal. And as you walk them forward, take the hips back. Oh, enjoy this. Enjoy this lengthening in the spine. Lengthening yourself right into your own perfect fullness, warts and all. And walk the hands back. Turn the back toes under. Step the front foot back. Press into the hands plank position. Imagine pushing something away right now. It's okay to say no when you need to, even if everything is perfect and can be here. Sometimes you still got to do that. And then bring yourself down, drawing forearms towards one another. Come on down. And up into your cobra. Exhale, tuck toes under. Find your way into a downward facing dog. Make any movements in your dog that would feel good to you right now. And then look between the hands, jump, step, feet forward. Good. Inhale, heart forward. Open arms to the side. Inhale it up. And exhale, hands to heart. All right. We're going to do a figure four. Here comes the window. The teensiest bit of fresh, cool air. Wow, you meant it. That's very teensy. All right. Figure four, standing figure four pose. Nice. So looking down at your beautiful feet, we'll bring weight into the right foot. So first breath, and then lift and spread toes. Make the standing leg strong, and then we're going to put a little bend in the knee. Good. Bring weight out of the left foot, take it into the ankle. We can take hands to the heart. Hopefully you're not going to need them, but if you do, you can reach down. Then we're going to bring that ankle right up and over the knee. Nice. Now activate the foot. Good. Finding your midline, begin to sit back, taking the sits bones back. The body begins to fold forward. Ooh. Very nice. You feel this anywhere? Anybody having a feeling, a sensation? Yeah. Good. I didn't cue you to bring your blocks, but it is possible that you might want to bring hands down onto blocks or the floor. For a little bit deeper stretch. All right, and then coming out is its own thing, right? Up and out. And wow. It's kind of intense. It can be. All right, good. Yeah, I'm going to bring my blocks for this next side. Good, good. All right, yeah, moving any way you need to. Shake that out. The old come on, baby.
Little disco moment.
Doesn't it feel like you had a towel back here and you're sort of like drying your bum after you get out of the shower? Come on, baby. I don't know. It does to me. That's where my imagination goes. Let's bring weight into the other foot. Come into breath. Lift and spread toes. Make it strong. And then put a softness in it. Take weight out of the other foot. Hands in front of the heart. Bring it in. Bring it on up. Good. And then activate the foot. You're going to probably need your drishti to support you because this is sort of a balancing kind of thing. Now start to take the sits bones down and back. Keeping that foot active. And if you want to go deeper, your hands might find their way to the blocks. Blocks on high, blocks on medium, or even the floor. Staying active in the feet. Being in the fullness of sensation here. And then we'll come up mindfully. Hands to heart. Woo! Find your way up. Nice. Good job. Yeah, move any way you need to. Because, ooh, I love that. Yeah, this is a nice one. Just to work it out a little bit. Of course, if your neighbor's right there, it might not feel so nice to receive a flying hand in the gut. Or maybe it's just the thing you've been missing. Very cooperative, very community. All right, come on out, and let's take both of our blocks to the top of the mat. All righty. Find your breath again. Feel your feet. And find your center. And inhale, hands high. Exhale, find your way to forward fold with soft knees. Inhale, heart forward. Actually, Chris, I don't want that because of the filming. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's why that was like that. And then pressing into hands, step it back for downward facing dog. Sorry, honey. Yeah, arrive here in your downward facing dog. And then on the next inhalation, take the right foot high. And exhale that foot all the way between the hands. And bring your hands up onto your blocks. Breathe. And on the next inhale, lift the toes of the front foot. Bring the front knee towards straight. You can bend the back knee. Nice and active in the toes. Pause. And just work here with getting into the back of the front leg. feeling into that hamstring, noticing if there's any tightness there. Good, and then inhale, come on forward. We'll keep the left hand on the block, bring the right hand to the right hip. Gently, with an inhalation, draw legs into midline, and then press and find your way into a twist. So the left rib cage moves towards the right. Maybe that right hand finds its way to sky. Maybe there's some movement you want to do in that shoulder. I know I do. Whoa. It's like, hello. And then exhale out, move the blocks, step yourself back, downward facing dog. Yeah, there's a sound. And on the next inhalation, take left foot high. Exhale that foot between the hands. Bring the blocks in on high. Pause and breathe. And then here we go. So drawing the front toes up, nice and active. Drawing the front knee towards straight, back knee bends. Play here. The energy is moving from the foot up the leg and into the pelvis, actually. So drawing the femur bone more deeply into the socket, pressing back out. The heart can even draw forward here. Noticing and moving towards sensation, supporting sensation, the fullness of sensation with the breath. On your next inhale, bring that front foot down, bend the knee, back into a lunge. Gently draw legs in towards midline. Give yourself some stability. Left hand comes to left hip for a twist. Right side body moving towards left. Press through feet, long through crown. And maybe the left hand floats to sky. And maybe that left shoulder is like, hey, let's move. Yeah, micro moving to find a deeper expression of fullness here. And noticing whatever arises. And can you allow that as part of the fullness? Inhale to unwind. Move the block, step it back, plank position. And then just for fun, because it's important, you need to do it, push something away. Because we do need to do that. We need to be able to do that when we need to. And then drawing forearms towards one another, keeping that really strong, come onto your bellies. And up and into a cobra. Tuck the toes under, find your way to downward facing dog. Look between the hands. Exhale, step or jump feet forward. Oh, press down through the feet. Inhale, rise up. Touch the sky. And exhale, hands to heart. Did you touch the ceiling? Yeah, touching the sky, the ceiling sky. Who knew that it was so hard? That sky. Okay, we're going to do Vrikshasana into standing figure 4 pose. We'll transition in our standing. You're going to love it, maybe. All right, so hands in front of the heart. We'll come into our right foot, come into the breath, and then lift and spread the toes. Make that standing leg strong. This time, we'll take weight out of the left foot and bring it into the ankle, and maybe the shin, and maybe the thigh, and maybe you need to reach down to help it there. You've got your drishti point, focused gaze, maybe opening the branches of the tree. Good. On the exhalation, we'll take hands to heart, put a bend in the standing leg, and slip that ankle right over the top of the knee. And then begin to take the sits bones back. If you've got blocks, you might want to use them. to come into a deeper expression of this. Nice and active in the foot. Breathing into sensation. Okay, and then we're going to inhale to come up. Hands to heart and back and into tree pose. A full tree. And exhale to come out. Nice, everybody. That's good. Fun, huh? A little different. Bounce it out. Okay. Take in the other side. So come into the breath. Lift and spread toes. Bring weight in. Hands in front of the heart. Take weight out of the right foot into ankle, into shin. This may be right where you practice. Or maybe you want to bring it up and into your thigh. You might need to reach down to get it. You'll need a strong drishti, strong gaze here to support yourself in balancing. And if it feels good, you can open the branches of your tree. Exhale, hands to heart. Put a softness in the standing leg knee and take that ankle right on over the top. Activate the feet. Begin to take the sits bones back. Upper body folds forward. Decide where you're going to work here. Maybe your hands come onto blocks or the floor. Stay active in the feet and breathe into sensation. And then on the inhalation, up we go again. And back up. Foot comes back in. Tree. Maybe you want to do a cactus tree. Lifting the heart. And exhale to come out. Nice, everybody. Ooh, that was fun. Let me look at my notes. See where we are. Did I just improvise, or was that part of my plan? Okay, good. Come to the top of your mats. Bring your blocks along if you'd like. Come into breath. Press into feet. Lift hands high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, step it back, downward facing dog. Find your dog. Find your breath in dog. And then inhale the right foot high. Exhale that foot between the hands. Lower the back knee down. Draw the front foot towards the back knee towards the front foot, and lift the hands up. Good. Exhale the hands inside of the foot and walk yourself forward into a gecko. Feel free to move that front out to a 45-degree angle. Good, and when you're ready, we inhale it back into Ardha Hanumanasana. Hands on blocks or the floor. The draw here is from the foot up the lines of the legs into the bowl of the pelvis. The femur gets in there, and then press it back out. Heart moves forward. Yeah, good, breathing. Breathing into sensation, allowing the fullness of this moment, of this expression. And then on the inhalation, come back into your lunge. Lifting back knee. Right hand moves to sky for a twist. See if this twist this time feels a little more accessible. For me, the right shoulder's much happier this time. Good. Exhale your way out. Press yourself back. Downward facing dog. Press into the hands. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale that foot between the hands. Ground the back knee down. Draw the front foot towards the back knee towards the front. Press through feet as you lift. And then exhale those hands down to your blocks to come into an Ardha Hanumanasana. Drawing from the base of the foot up the lines of the leg, the femur bone comes deeply into the socket and then presses back through the foot. Breathe. Draw the heart forward. On the next inhale, ground the front foot, bend the front knee, lift the back knee, and come on into a twist. Gently hugging legs to midline as the right rib cage moves towards left. Good. Inhale, release. Step back, plank position. Once again, push something away. Let yourself have the push. And then drawing forearms towards one another, keeping that engaged, come on down onto your bellies. And up and into your expression of cobra right now in your practice. Maybe there's an up dog. When you're ready, tuck the toes under, find your way back and into downward facing dog. Look between the hands, jump, step, float, feet forward. Let something go. Maybe shake that head out. Oh, I love that. I love those lips. Who did that? Yeah, the horse lips. That's not always easy to do. Inhale the heart forward. Press into the feet. Rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. That is not accessible if your lips are tight, right?
It loosens up the face to do it.
It's amazing. Awesome. To be in the fullness of that is like really top notch. Okay, we're going to flow from Vrikshasana to Virabhadrasana 3, Flying Warrior, back to Vrikshasana. So come on to the tops of your mats. We'll start with hands in front of the heart and find the breath. And then bring weight into the left foot, lift and spread toes. Take weight out of the right foot, bring that foot into the ankle or the shin, and maybe it's coming up and into the thigh. Find the gentle press of midline of foot to thigh, the gentle melting of the standing thigh back, the rooting of the tailbone. Press through the foot. Inhale, hands high. And from your tree, hands come together in front of the heart. Front knee comes forward. Standing leg softens. Begin to sweep yourself. Keep a fullness in the back body and a draw to midline as you go. Keep drawing those legs towards midline. And then shoot out that foot. Back thigh melts towards the sky. And then we're going to inhale and bring it back forward. And into tree. And exhale, hands to heart. So what we just did is a great example of supporting bone growth. I don't know if you could feel that all the way into your bones, but that was Carrying your own weight and putting pressure in the bones like that is hugely supportive of things like osteopenia or osteoporosis or whatever. It just like really gets a hit. So yoga is great for your bones as we age or at any stage. All right. Let's come into the right foot, find the breath. Lift and spread the toes, bring weight here. Hands together in front of the heart. Take weight out of the left foot, bring it on in, and then up. And wherever you're going to practice this tree. Good. Maybe opening the branches of your tree or making a cactus. And then exhale, hands to heart. Take the left knee forward. Fill the back body. Feel a draw to midline. Begin to find your way into your expression here until you can shoot that foot back. Keeping the draw to midline, the inner thighs, and then the back thigh moves up towards the sky. Good, and we'll inhale, bring that back through. And into your tree. And exhale to release. We can't have the kitty in here. Mariana's allergic. Okay? Yeah. You didn't know that yet. All right. Shake it on out. How are we doing? Okay. Good. Yeah? All right. Let's come to the front of the mats and step back with the right foot. Find midline hug, press into the feet, lift hands high. And then on the exhalation, turn the back foot to be parallel to the short end of the mat, and the left elbow comes onto the left knee, right hand to the right hip. Look down at your right hip and just notice, is it aligned with your ankle or is it forward? Bring it forward for a second, because that's what we don't want. I want you to feel what we don't want for a second. And then look down and draw the hip back until it is a straight line from hip down to ankle. That's what we do want. Great. Find the breath, and now draw feet towards one another on the mat isometrically. Good. The back thigh melts back, like the pubic bone goes down and back. It takes the sits bones wide. Then the front sits bone roots down. Press through the feet, long in the sides of the body, and the right hand can come up over the ear. Soften the fingers of the left hand as you press through the feet and reach through the right fingers and the crown. Good. And now let's inhale and take it right up and into a warrior pose. Press through those feet and be a warrior who knows how to stand in fullness. Even just for a moment. Nothing missing, nothing needs to be added or taken away. The fullness is simply full. On the inhalation, straighten that front knee. Just do a little Trikonasana reach. And then inhale it back up. Bring hands to the heart. Look down at your front foot. Put a bend in the front knee. Turn the back toes to come back into that lunge shape. Hands to sky. And exhale, hands to heart. Step it forward. Good. To the other side. All right. Yeah. Any sounds, any moves, any wriggles, anything. Let your feet be where they are and just move it. Just move it out. Move it out. Whew. Yeah. Okay. Good. All right, hands in front of the heart, weight in the right foot, step back with the left foot into a lunge shape. Come into your breath, soften something in the jaw, and then draw legs towards midline. Press through feet, lift hands to sky. On the next inhalation, turn the back foot to be parallel to the short end of the mat and bring the right elbow to the right knee. Soften those right fingers. Come into breath and then look down at the left hip. And let's take it forward of the ankle for a moment. And just notice that. That's what we don't want. And then we're going to take it so that it's aligned with the ankle. Coming straight up. Good. Nice. On the next inhalation, draw feet towards one another isometrically on the mat. And then the pubic bone moves down and back to widen the sits bones. Keep that in the left leg, but then the right sits bone roots down, tucks under, press through the feet, keeping all of that engaged. Then the left hand comes up over the ear. Get long through the crown, get long through fingers, and notice if you're clenching your right toes on the mat, and let that go. See if you can let that go. Breathe here. On the next inhalation, we'll take it right up to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Full like the moon, whether there's light, whether there's dark, can never not be full. Invite you to move that front knee towards straight, maybe lifting the front toes so you're not hyperextending that knee, and then reach into Trikonasana, reaching. Press into the feet, come on up, bring hands to heart, put a bend in the front knee, turn the back toes, press and reach. Hands to heart, inhale, step it forward. Good. All right, let's take a wide stance towards the windows for Trikonasana and bring a block, if you like to practice with a block. Block outside behind your right foot. All right, nice wide stance. Turn right toes to the right. Good. Let's start with our hands on our hips. Wonderful. Good. Now look down and see if the left hip is forward of the ankle. Bring it forward of the ankle and then draw it back. Notice how different that feels. Let's do it again. Take it forward and then draw it back. Ooh. Yeah, it invites us into a deeper experience of our own fullness to do that, to work that way. Good. All right. Lift and spread toes of both feet. Feel the pubic bone move down and back to widen sits bones, and then the right sits bone tucks down and under. We keep that. It creates the stable base that we need. Then open the hands and begin to reach, and find your way all the way down, either to your ankle or the floor or your block. And with that stable base, if you need to take any of those actions again in the legs, go ahead and take them, but find length in both sides of the body. And the heart gently turns like a sunflower towards the sun. And maybe the gaze does as well. A couple breaths here. Pressing through feet, finding length. Nice. Let go of the hand. Look down at your right foot. Turn it to be parallel to the left. Walk your hands to the middle. Maybe you're using your block. Maybe your hands are on your block. Prasarita Padottanasana. We use this as a transition. Yeah, make a sound. We're opening parts of the body here that probably have some stagnant energy, maybe some unexpressed feelings and emotions, thoughts. stories. And then on the next inhale, turn the left toes towards the left, bring your block around, and we'll come back up, all the way up. Hands on hips. Look down at your right foot, and let's take the right hip forward of the ankle, just to feel, sometimes what happens unconsciously. And then we're going to very consciously move it back so that it's parallel down the leg to where the ankle lives. Nice. Now lift and spread toes to prevent hyperextension. Good. The tailbone, the pubic bone moves down and back to widen sits bones, even if you're just imagining that. Creating space, the back of the pelvis. And then left sits bone roots down. Now we are in. Lift hands. Reach, 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 reach. And then find your way down and into your expression right now of your Trikonasana. Take any of the actions you need to again in the legs to find that stable, sturdy, steady base. Find length in the sides of the body, pressing through feet, lengthening through crown and fingertips. And then perhaps, just perhaps, the heart turns like a flower towards the sun. Take a couple breaths here. And on the next inhalation, turn the left toes to meet and be parallel to the right. Take your block around. And come into a deeper expression if you like. Maybe your forehead on the block with hands on the floor. Lift and spread toes here. The sits bones are wide. Drop the tailbone consciously into that space to root yourself even more. Good. Now we're going to put a deep bend in the knees. Walk the feet in. Deep bend, deep bend, deep bend, deep bend. And come to seated and face me. Let's bring our feet together. All right, we're on the floor again. Right foot comes out. Left foot comes towards the sits bone. And if your lower back is rounding, sit up on something to support the natural curves of the back. Good job. Excellent. Woo. Let's take hands behind us to begin. Find the rooting. Actually draw the right femur more deeply into the socket. See what that's like. Activate feet, toes towards sky. Nice. And now we begin to explore the possibility of a little forward fold here. Let's keep that heart drawing forward. And find that breath, the support of the breath, the fullness of the breath. When we come up against our limitations, it can feel hard. But Purnatva invites us to embrace them fully. Inhale your way up. Use your hand under the knee to bring that in. I love the modifications I'm seeing in the room. It's fantastic. Take the other leg out. Toes to sky, nice and active. Right foot towards right sits bone. Draw that femur more deeply into the socket. Good. Hands behind. Find the rooting. Feel the opening of the heart. Without forcing, just the invitation of the heart to find a little bit more spaciousness and expression. Almost like a melting into fullness. And then looking in the direction of your outstretched leg, bring fingertips to either side and pause. Draw the heart towards the toes. And then walk fingers forward, any amount. This is Janu Shirshasana. And even though that means head to knee, I'm suggesting that we draw heart to toes today. Yeah, wonderful. And when you're ready, we'll inhale our way out. Bring a hand under the knee. Draw that out. Let's take legs right out in front for a second and just shake them out. Any lingering sounds? The door is thundering. Good. And find your way onto your backs. And there may be some lingering shapes that your body would like a twist or a bridge pose or even a shoulder stand. And then we're going to find our way into Shavasana. And maybe your body says, I'm ready for Shavasana right now. Thank you very much. Radiance Sutra number 79 from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, translated by Lauren Roche. Oceans embrace a continent. Space welcomes the sun. Embrace yourself this generously. Form your arms into a circle and cherish the arising of serenity. Attend the birth of something new. Thoughts dissolve into peace as you become the one who embraces all.